lines at several major airports around the country. The Salt Lake City International Airport saw some longer lines this morning, longer than the average wait time, some at 90 minutes, but now more staff are showing up, and the airport has recently updated us that wait times are back to just under 30. And our top international story this morning from ABC News. The war in Iran is still causing instability and uncertainty in the markets. Stocks had their worst performance since the start of the war yesterday. And today, gas is still expensive.
The national average now $3.99. The last time it passed $4 was back in 2022. We are also now seeing forecasts for overall inflation to exceed 4% this year because of higher oil. Before the war, that inflation rate was inching closer to the Federal Reserve's target of 2%.
That's ABC's Elizabeth Schulze. Today, the average price of gas per gallon here in Utah is sitting at $4.19, according to AAA. Your money at this moment, the Dow is currently down 361 points, the S&P 500 down 50. Coming up, we'll take a look at the roads. KSL weather and traffic is next. KSL News Time 9:01.
A reminder about the simplest way to get updated for your day.
Hit your KSL preset when you jump in the car, and we'll take care of the rest.
Hear key news updates and traffic reports.
Andy and Amanda from 5 to 9 in your car.
KSL News Radio at 102.7 FM.
A family office is a team built to handle the three biggest financial responsibilities a family faces: wealth management, tax strategy, and estate planning. Most firms only manage your investments and refer the rest out, hoping everyone stays aligned. At Trajan, we built something different. Your wealth, tax planning, and estate planning are handled together inside one firm under one roof. There's no guessing whether your CPA, advisor, and estate attorney are truly in sync, because our team works together every day on your behalf. When your financial life becomes more complex, your advice should become more coordinated, not more fragmented. One plan, one trusted team. Call Trajan today, 801-207-9900. That's 801-207-9900.
Trajan Wealth, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Additional services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures and accreditation at TrajanWealth.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-551-7672.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-551-7672. That's 800-551-7672.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
The weather is about to warm up. That means lawn care. Wouldn't you love a greener, healthier lawn without the hassle? Utah's tough climate doesn't make it easy, but J&J Garden Center has the answer to make it simple. So simple, you can do it yourself. The 5-step lawn care program at J&J Garden Center with Basin's Best Fertilizer is designed just for Utah's unique climate, giving you a thicker, stronger, weed-free lawn all season long. It's easy to apply, affordable, and covers up to 10,000 square feet. Just follow the simple 5-step plan and let Basin's Best Fertilizer do the rest and take the guesswork out of your lawn care. DIY and save big. No expensive lawn services needed. Get started today at J&J Garden Center and watch your lawn turn green with envy. Visit J&J Garden Center in Layton and get growing today. Just take the Layton Parkway exit to Main Street and head west on Gentile. J&J Garden Center. Country grown to your home.
Traffic and weather brought to you by here at KSL. Here is the KSL Traffic Center.
Eastbound Pioneer Crossing, we're seeing heavier delays on in Lehigh as you approach I-15. It's heavy and slow from 7800 west all the way over to I-15. We're also seeing those delays on 2100 north. They are breaking up and easing out, but it is still in place, scattered eastbound from Redwood Road over to I-15. On I-15, though, no delays all across the Wasatch Front. Performance Automotive in Bountiful, endless possibilities with 3 locations. Performance Ford Lincoln, Performance Honda, and Performance Toyota, where excellence is standard. Start your search at performancebountiful.com. Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
Today will be partly sunny with some more clouds coming out this afternoon. Expect highs in the upper 60s. Tomorrow will be slightly warmer with highs in the 70s. Right now, it is currently 43 degrees here in Salt Lake City. I'm Alexandria Bonilla from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
Good morning, and I think we have some good news today, especially if you are planning to travel by airline.
Half good news, just half good news.
Yeah, well, promising news. The Senate this morning passed a bill that would fund most of the Department of Homeland Security, including TSA. Of course, it has to go to the House first, but this is promising, and it was a unanimous. It was kind of it was like a roll call vote or something.
It was not a roll call vote. So it was by unanimous consent, and we'll break that down with our guest.
Okay, yes, good.
So
well, let's bring her in. Cami Mondo from the Deseret News is with us. She's our congressional correspondent. Cami, thanks for joining us this morning.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So tell us, because I butchered it, what the Senate did this morning.
Yes, absolutely. So what they did was put it up on a voice vote, meaning they did not have to go through the roll call and have every single person vote. It's basically unanimous consent where they could just put the bill through as it was.
So, Cami, there's a couple of things that I want to ask you about. So, one, this bill is a bill that was basically, as I understand it, what Senate Democrats were hoping for, which is we're going to fund almost everything but not ICE. So they're funding TSA agents, they're funding the Coast Guard, there's some other pieces as well. Is that how I understand this bill?
Correct. It's essentially funding, all parts of DHS except for ICE and parts of the Customs and Border Patrol. The Customs was still funded, but that Border Patrol portion was not funded. The only catch there is that all of the ICE and immigration reforms that Democrats were asking for, those were not included. But they basically just accepted it anyway because the funding was not there.
Okay, so now this bill, it has to go to the House. But I also understand, the Senate's gone for 2 weeks, they're gone.
Yes, and it's one of those classic, the Senate jams the House with, here's something that we passed in the middle of the night. You get to wake up to it, do with it what you will. And so, as you can imagine, a lot of House Republicans are not happy with that.
Yeah, and it seems like there are some Republicans on the right who are basically saying, Cami, that you either fund immigration operations or we're not going to go through this, which means they may tweak the bill. And Holly just said the Senate's not even going to be around for 2 weeks. That could mean, hypothetically, two more weeks of no funding.
Correct. The House Freedom Caucus, which is the most conservative wing of the Republican Party in the House, met with some reporters today. They said that they will not support this unless they put the ICE and Border Patrol funding back in. They also want to add voter ID requirements in there, and they want to send it back to the Senate. That's very unlikely, and so we're kind of looking to see what House Republican leadership, House Democratic leadership is going to do to get this bill through, hopefully today, but they are advising members this could go through the weekend.
So help me also understand that maybe the process in the House is I understand that the rules, you can't suspend the rules to do a vote on the weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And we're heading into holiday weekends, right? So Palm Sunday on Sunday. Is Speaker Johnson, how is he going to get around that?
There is a way that he could waive the rules, although that would require a 2/3 vote on the House Rules Committee, which would mean you'd need a majority of Democrats and some of the Republicans to help with that. Some of those Republicans are House Freedom Caucus members, so that would be a bit of an uphill battle as well. There is a path there, but, it would be difficult.
And given the Senate approval of it, which it's unanimous, I guess, you would think that shows some bipartisan support, which might carry over into the House, Cammie.
Right, you will get a lot of bipartisan approval of, just getting TSA open and getting these Coast Guard and other agencies funded and saving the rest for later negotiations. Some Democrats, again, as you mentioned earlier, this is what they've been asking for weeks, is just to fund everything but immigration and, leaving maybe some of those reforms behind for later talks.
Cammie, let me ask you this as well. So if the Senate has left for 2 weeks on recess, the Save America Act won't even be discussed for a minimum of 2 weeks, correct?
Correct. So, because they went on recess and they're only going to come back for what's known as pro forma sessions. It's basically you come in, you gavel, and you go back out. So that debate has been put on hold for at least 2 weeks.
Cammie, do we know whether the administration, whether the president will sign this current bill if the House passes it? Is he on board, or is he sort of an all or nothing, saying this is not quite what I asked for?
It seems as of right now that the White House has been involved with these conversations. Senate Majority Leader John Thune said that he'd been talking to Trump yesterday. So the assumption is that, whatever they put on his desk, he will sign just to make sure he gets things open. Of course, the president does like to change his mind every now and again. So I guess we'll see once it actually does pass, whatever it is that gets to his desk.
I have another question, Cammie. So this one related to this bill. President Trump said he was signing an executive order that would instruct Secretary Mullen to pay TSA agents immediately. Is that independent of this bill, or is that dependent on this bill passing?
It would seem that it is dependent on this bill passing because, of course, if this does pass, it would kind of put that executive order to be a moot point at this point. So he did announce that before there was a DHS deal in the Senate. And so it's not entirely clear if that would still move through. He never actually signed anything yet. He just announced it in a Truth Social post. So I think it is dependent on whether we get something moving today or this weekend.
Yeah, and I wanted to follow up with that. We were talking this morning with Cammie Mondo, Deseret News congressional correspondent. What are the chances, or is there a chance that this will go to the House today for a vote?
There is still a possibility that it could go up today. We're not sure on the timing. House Democrats are meeting right now behind closed doors to kind of discuss a path forward on whether they would support something, help push it through. Republican leaders are meeting separately. And so there is a chance it could come through at some point today. No one's really sure. The whip notice that was sent out to lawmakers is basically stay flexible, stay in town, and we'll see what happens.
Can I ask you one final question, Cammie? I just want to go back to the way the Senate voted and the time. So I understand it was sometime in the middle of the night?
Yes, it was at around 2:30 in the morning when they did finally put the voice vote through.
Okay, so when they do this voice vote and you don't do the roll call vote, do you have to have, what is that process? Do they have a chance to object? Is it just once you do it that way, it's going to be assumed that it's going to be unanimous?
Yeah, it's essentially for any of these legislation that you do assume is going to get passed. You put it up as a unanimous consent, they call it. And as long as nobody objects, it is automatically passed. We've seen other pieces of legislation go the same way. The Epstein files, for example, passed the Senate in the same exact way.
All right. Thank you so much. That was Cammie Mondo, Deseret News congressional correspondent, with a half a piece of good news.
Yeah,
right?
I think
the
it's
Senate
promising.
has approved it.
Right, and maybe the House gets its act together today, and Democrats and Republicans can come together, knowing that there's extremes from both parties that are not crazy about this, but maybe the central part of each will get
and
together.
Certainly, I think the President Trump has tipped his hand and saying, "Look," or tipped his hat, I guess, and saying, "Look, I want to see TSA agents funded, so get this done."
Yeah.
So speaking of TSA, spring break is kicking off for some in Utah, and long lines were building at the Salt Lake City International Airport. We're told it's because people arrived too early, actually. So we're going to talk more about what you can expect if you are traveling this weekend. Stay with us.
Every day here in Utah, people turn to KSL News Radio for one simple reason: trust. Trust for our reporters, hosts, our coverage, and trust in the businesses heard right here. I've met so many of our listeners over the years, and they'll tell you KSL is part of their daily routine, in the car, at work, at home. And when they hear your business here, it carries the weight of that trust. It isn't just another ad. It's a recommendation coming from a reliable source. When you advertise on KSL News Radio, you reach a loyal, highly engaged audience who listens intentionally. They show up for breaking news, accurate information, and meaningful conversations. And because of that connection, they respond. And when you pair our on-air credibility with digital tools like display advertising, social media, streaming audio, search, geo-targeting, and retargeting, you get a full funnel strategy that works and reaches the right people at the right time. Get marketing that truly moves the needle. Partner with the voice Utah trusts. KSL. Learn more at kslnewsradio.com/advertise.
Who is Farm Bureau Financial Services? At our core, we're relationship builders. We're home and auto bundlers, life insurers, farm and ranch protectors, and retirement planners. We're neighbors, community members, and friends. We're the people you can count on now and for years to come. Find a Farm Bureau agent at fbfs.com/protect. Farm Bureau Property and Casualty Insurance Company, Western Agricultural Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company.
Progressive knows you could have easily taken the freeway, but you took the scenic route to see a waterfall and an oddly busy boiled peanut stand. Discovering the unexpected is exactly why you bought an RV, so protect it with a bundle from Progressive. Because although you may be 3 hours behind schedule, you're 6 jars of jam richer and possibly enrolled in a butter churning workshop. Switch to Progressive and protect your RV, boat, or motorcycle by bundling with your home and auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
We know exactly what you're not thinking about right now. Wiper blades. But now that you are, take a moment to think about how Rain-X is the #1 brand of wiper blades in America. Why? Because Rain-X thinks about wiper blades all the time. We obsess, so you don't have to. Simply install our blades and then think about literally anything else. So choose Rain-X, America's #1 wiper blades, and then go back to not thinking about wiper blades. Rain-X. Outsmart the elements.
I'm Congressman Mike Kennedy. For years, Utah families have paid too much for health care, groceries, and everyday essentials. I'm fighting for health care reform that puts patients first and lowers costs. I'm also working to cut waste, fraud, and abuse in Washington because your tax dollars should be spent wisely. Fiscal responsibility means lower costs and a government that works for you. I'm Mike Kennedy, and I'll keep fighting for Utah families. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Hi, I'm Chef Franklin Becker. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
There's no championship league for small business owners. But if there was, you'd be at the top of the standings. Because going pro with Lenovo Pro means you've got the winning formation. One-on-one advice, IT solutions, and customized hardware powered by Intel Core Ultra processors help you stay ahead of the competition. Business goes pro with Lenovo Pro. Sign up for free at lenovo.com/pro.
Lenovo. Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with a sun protection factor, or SPF, of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. UVA rays age the skin, UVB rays burn, and both cause cancer. But the perfect sunscreen doesn't count if you use it wrong. Don't need sunscreen on a cloudy day? Wrong. 80% of UV rays still get through the haze. Only use sunscreen at the beach? Nope. Anytime you're outside, UV rays attack the skin, so you need protection. And you have to reapply sunscreen every 2 hours. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Inside Sources.
Well, if you've traveled recently, especially by airline, you notice that the lines are a bit longer than they've been in the past. I've heard, Holly, of airports in this country, I think Houston and New York, where they had they advise people to get there 4 or 5 hours before their flight because the lines were so bad. It's not like we've been spared a little bit.
Well, one of the things that's interesting, right, is I think other people have seen those reports, and so they have started showing up at the Salt Lake City airport early, and that has caused lines because they didn't have enough staffing there to be there early. So what we saw this morning on social media is people said lines were stretching from TSA out to the baggage claim area. The wait was over 60 minutes at one point.
Right, and the spokesperson for the Salt Lake City International Airport, Nancy Vollmer, said the wait is usually 30 minutes, but the problem was exacerbated, like you said, because people were actually coming too early. I can't imagine it's 30 minutes. But yeah, that's great. And if we start getting TSA agents back, and that's days away, even if the House passes the bill that we just talked about and we start getting funding, I don't know that means TSA is just going to immediately come back. There have been a lot of agents who have been unable or unwilling to work because they're not getting paid.
Over 500 have quit. And I think I think you get to a point where you say, I've got to be able to feed my family, right? And so you start looking for other options. But look, you can find information. I think as of 8:30 this morning, Nancy Vollmer with the Salt Lake City International Airport said the wait was down to 30 minutes. That's our latest update for people to know right now. But what we do know is that these airport delays, right? People want to find out the latest information. When do I need to show up? So what that has resulted in, Greg,
unbelievable,
is people wanting to scam people trying to get on the plane.
Yeah, here's KSL's Matt Gephardt with that.
A Utah traveler says that when she tried to call for help, she didn't get the airport. This is video I shot of Deborah Gamero back in 2023 giving a piano lesson. And it turns out Deborah is so good at teaching that she's currently in Chicago accepting an award from the National Music Teachers Association. Way to go, Deb. But alas, this story is not a celebration. You see, before she left, Deborah says she hopped on the internet looking for a phone number for the Salt Lake City International Airport. With all the news of long TSA lines, Deborah wanted to ask how early she needed to arrive before her flight. And a search engine spit out a phone number, but it was not the airport's phone number. Deborah texted me, I called the numbers for the airport and got airport consolidations. They told me I needed to pay another $150 to secure a seat. Now, Deborah recognized it was a scammer and she hung up. And then she reached out to me so that I could warn you. So I headed to the airport to ask, how should travelers get information?
We have a website, which is slcairport.com, that has information about lost and found. It has information about flights.
And it has information about TSA wait times, says airport spokesperson Nancy Vollmer. It also has the real airport phone number that travelers can call.
Does the airport ever charge for information?
We do not. So the airport, all of the information that we provide is at no charge.
Vollmer says she has not heard of this particular scam before, but Get Gephardt has reported on similar scams in the past. Fake phone numbers, fake help desks, real money lost. From car scams to ticket scams, and now travel confusion. The Federal Trade Commission reports that imposter fraud is one of the most costly frauds in the country, and artificial intelligence is making it harder to spot. It is an issue that is exacerbated as more and more companies abandon phone lines and call centers altogether, instead rely on messaging. When people go looking for a number, there isn't one, and bad guys are there happy to fill that void. Salt Lake International does have a phone number as well as an email address. We've got information for those attached to this story on our website.
It seems like for every problem, there is a potential for a scam. And so now, I mean, these scammers, they're just, it's unbelievable. So they know that people are upset. They know that there are lines at airports. They know that the TSA agents are gone. So some genius, like, what can we do? How can we take advantage of this situation? I know. Let's create a line that says, hey, you can avoid the lines and secure your spot, send us $100. I mean, luckily, this woman that Gephardt just talked to was smart enough to know it was a scam. Mm-hmm. And I would just say this, and I think Matt said it very well also, Holly. If somebody's asking you for money over the phone for something that you haven't done before, it's almost certainly a scam. Like, Salt Lake International Airport's not going to say, hey, we're really crowded here. Send us $100 and we'll put you in the front of the line. Like, that's just not going to happen.
Well, I don't know. I mean, speaking of spring break, a lot of people go to Disneyland. You can pay extra to do like fast passes so you can, shortcut some of the lines. So I can understand why it might seem like it's legitimate, but it is not legit.
Yeah, you're right. There are certain things where you can pay for things like that. But I guess what I would say is this: if you do have something like that, hang up, make a end-run phone call and just say, hey, is there something to find out if this is legit or not? You can almost go on the internet because somebody's going to have posted, don't do this, this is a scam, I fell for it, or something like that.
So it's spring break for some of the K through 12 schools in Utah. Our spring break will be the week after Easter instead of the week before. But if you're driving today, there are some delays that you can expect because a lot of people will be on the road.
Yeah, what we're hearing is this. Southbound I-15 from St. George to Cedar City, that would be northbound. But anyway, delays from 12 to 7 p.m. with peak delays up to 45 minutes around 3 p.m. Southbound I-15 from Spanish Fork to Nephi, that is southbound. Delays from 2 to 7 p.m. with peak delays up to 25 minutes around 5 p.m. And then eastbound Highway 6, which goes through Price area from Spanish Fork, delays from 4 to 10 p.m. with peak delays up to 15 minutes. So, yeah, I mean, UDOT's doing a great job of letting us know. Those aren't significant delays. I mean,
I think 45 minutes is kind of a long delay.
45 could be
extra,
difficult.
45 minutes extra from your regular travel time.
I wonder why, I mean, this is rhetorical, the area between Cedar City and St. George would be delayed that much. It's very small. It's only about 60 miles. They're having 45 minutes. Maybe there's some construction or something going on.
Or everybody at SUU wants to party. I don't know.
That's right. Spring break for Dixie and SUU going to each other's venues.
Utah Tech. So are you traveling this weekend? Are you going anywhere, doing anything?
Well, I had thought, because all the ski resorts were closing, that we were closing, and I was told, no, we're not closing, Scortis. We need you up on the mountain.
Oh, gosh.
So I'm going up to Powder Mountain tomorrow to do some water skiing. Apparently, I don't know what the conditions are going to be like. Apparently it's not that bad. I mean, people are telling me you get up high enough and it's pretty fun. So I'm going to ski this weekend, at least on Saturday. I think our mountain, like a lot of others, is closing on Sunday, so I'll be
okay. So the last couple of days.
Yeah, the last day of skiing.
Yeah, I mean, the pictures I'm seeing from ski resorts are like brown dirt. So,
right.
There's not a lot of snow there.
Yeah, and of course, we usually expect some spring runoffs to be starting very soon. It's runoff. I mean, there's not much snow to be coming off. So anyway, back to travel. I don't plan to travel this weekend. I don't know.
And we won't either. And we're not going anywhere for spring break. And we never really did. So my kids are always like, where are we going? And I was like, nowhere.
You said your kid's spring break is a week away.
Yeah, it is. It's the week after Easter.
So I guess it's a district-by-district decision.
Yep.
And you also indicated to me during the break that colleges had already had their spring break.
Yeah, the Utah colleges, who even have them, some of them don't even have really much of a spring break. That was towards the beginning of March, but their semesters will end the very end of April, right, rather than the public schools who go to the end of May. So I think that's just the offset there. So not college spring break.
And a lot of the college students from the warmer climates come to Utah for skiing spring break, and a lot of our kids go to go to Florida for spring break to get out of the snow.
Don't come to ski this year. So at least not right now. So when we come back, we've talked about these scams. It's so like you mentioned, people are getting maybe more sophisticated, and they're saying, they're taking advantage. In fact, anytime there's some kind of a natural disaster, for example, you get a whole bunch of people who want to help. We'll just look at Hawaii, for example, that just had all that flooding. You'll get people who want to help, but you also get scammers who say, hey, donate here. And they make their website look like it's legitimately something you could donate to, but maybe one letter's off in the URL or something, right? Well, there is a new phone scam that is hitting the phones of Utahns.
Yeah, from the department. People are supposedly from the Department of Public Safety and Homeland Security. I don't know if any of our listeners have received this scam. Give us a call or give us a text. But it's something that we're going to talk about after the break with somebody who has some information about this from the Utah Department of Public Safety.
We don't even have a Utah Department of Homeland Security, but nice try.
Oh, there you go.
So we're going to talk about that.
9:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Alexandria Bonilla. KSL's top story this hour: New Jersey Senator Andy Kim says Democrats are still pushing for ICE enforcement reforms.
All we've been demanding here is what the American people are demanding: body-worn cameras, no masks, keeping ICE agents out of our hospitals, schools, and churches, and ensuring ICE follows the same practices and procedures as local law enforcement.
A bill to partially fund the Department of Homeland Security will now have to be approved by the House and then head to the president's desk for his signature. Former Border Patrol Commander-at-Large Greg Bovino and current White House border czar Tom Homan are backing President Trump's aggressive immigration tactics.
Well, thank God we got President Trump in the Oval Office, because we're removing thousands of these national security threats with the help of the FBI and the intelligence communities. But we got a lot more to find.
They spoke out at the Conservative Political Action Conference, and Bovino is actually retiring. He was most recently ousted from his job being in charge of deportations in Minnesota. And in local news here in Salt Lake City, 2 new statues have been unveiled at Temple Square. They depict Jesus Christ, one titled Jesus Christ Carrying the Cross and the other Jesus Christ in Gethsemane. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints says the timing comes at a great time with Easter right around the corner. They are in an area under construction near the Visitor Center Plaza, but are still visible from a distance. They will be more accessible next year during the Salt Lake Temple celebration. Your money at this moment, the Dow is currently down 309 points. The S&P is down 37. Coming up, we'll take a look at traffic. KSL traffic and weather are next. KSL News Time, 9:31.
The sources where we get our news matters.
When you listen to Utah's Morning News, we want you to feel the stories are important to you and trustworthy. This is Amanda Dixon.
And I'm Andy Farnsworth. Join us weekday mornings on KSL News Radio.
You deserve a home that's truly your sanctuary. Why are you waiting? Dreammaker Bath and Kitchen helps turn someday into today. A space that works and feels like you. Because design and build live under one roof, your remodel experience stays organized. From the first discovery consultation to the final walkthrough, with one team from start to finish. You deserve a home that you can truly be happy in. And that's possible right now. A clear, structured timeline keeps guesswork out of your kitchen or bath project, and it starts with your budget and a fixed price. Then the detailed plan begins with smart and stylish selections, so you know exactly what to expect. Dreammaker Bath and Kitchen is built on integrity and customer focus, and that shows up in the little things, clean job sites, and proactive updates that keep you fully in the loop. Back nationally and 3 locally owned Wasatch Front locations. Schedule a consultation at dreammaker-remodel.com. That's dreammaker-remodel.com. Enhancing lives, improving homes. dreammaker-remodel.com.
Here's the tale of Tina, searching up and down for decent GLP-1s, but got spun around.
Till Good RX wrote in, hey, we got something new. GLP-1 prescriptions, all FDA approved.
Brand name meds, no flags that are red.
Clear pricing from the start. None of those hidden fees in your cart.
Delivered to your door or pick up same day. Darn tootin'.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Hot put it to goodrx.com/weight loss. GoodRx is not insurance.
Every business starts with an idea. With smart business buying from Amazon Business, get everything you need to grow in one familiar place. From office supplies to IT essentials and maintenance tools. Ready to bring your visions to life? Learn how at AmazonBusiness.com.
Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select Oil Filter for just $32.99 now at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and if you have a drain that's clogged or backed up, after you've tried the plungers and products, the next step usually involves some kind of drain snake or cabling equipment. You see, sometimes the blockage is far enough down the line that you need special equipment that most homeowners just don't have. That's where the Drains Department at Any Hour Services can help. A drain snake can clear most blockages and get the water flowing again, and clearing blocked drains is what our Drains Department does day in and day out. So if you're a homeowner with a drain line that's clogged or backed up and you'd like one of our drain technicians to come and snake the line for you, it's only $29. Yep, you heard that right. Any Hour Services will snake any drain line with normal access for only $29. Sinks, showers, tubs, toilets, floor drains, laundry drains, even that sewer main line that connects to the city. We'll snake any line for just $29. For help with your drain issues, call Any Hour Services at 801-443-7700. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Traffic and weather brought to Traffic and weather together, brought to you by UCCU. Build smart, save big with construction loans at UCCU. Let's check in with the KSL Traffic Center.
We do have a crash eastbound on 5400 South in Taylorsville. Looks like the delays have cleared out, but they are blocking a right lane just as you go under the 215's east belt. Otherwise, roadways in Salt Lake County really looking like a calm drive right now to begin the midday hours. We do have eastbound delays in Lehigh, though. Pioneer Crossings construction zone still causing some slight delays trying to get onto I-15. 2100 north, the delays are heavy, but they are broken up eastbound at 3600 west and 2300 west with those stoplights. Want to know how much your home is currently worth in Salt Lake City area? You can find out for free and get your answer in seconds from Omada Real Estate. To learn more, go to omadarealestate.com. Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
Today will be partly sunny with some more clouds to come out this afternoon. Expect highs in the upper 60s. Tomorrow will be slightly warmer with highs in the 70s. Right now, it is currently 43 degrees and partly cloudy here in Salt Lake City. I'm Alexandria Bonilla from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com, for Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
Well, if you happen to get a notice from the State of Utah Department of Safety and Homeland Security, you should know this. There is no State of Utah Department of Safety and Homeland Security. It's a scam.
It is a scam.
This one looks pretty legit, though. It's got the seal of the State of Utah on it, and it purports to be a notice that you have not paid your traffic ticket, and everything's gone into default, with no exceptions,
There's
no grace
a whole,
period.
like a bunch of capital letters shouting at you.
And so for people like me who get traffic tickets regularly, I would see something like this and go, oh, man, did I forget to pay one, or was I late?
Yeah.
Should I just pay this? And, of course, it gives you some portal to go to where you can take care of everything online and just pay this ticket off. Don't fall for it. This is a scam that is I don't know. It just seems like there's always something going on.
And it's, it preys on fear. So you asked for people to send in. And yesterday we also had a texter say, hey, my daughter just got this. I know it's not real. And we've had 2 texters send us a picture, send us the information that's on it. One of the things that it tells you is that if you don't pay immediately, your driver's license is suspended with no conditional reinstatement. It's that sounds really scary.
Let's go to the top. This is the Chief of Investigation, the Utah Department of Public Safety, Tanner Jensen. Tanner, thanks for joining us this morning.
Yeah, happy to be on. Thank you.
What have you learned about this particular scam? Is it pretty pervasive, or have a lot of people received this?
Yeah, this scam has definitely gone out far and wide here in the state of Utah, and I just think also throughout the country. And you're right, there are just several red flags you can see once it comes in, but it's alarming.
So tell us what people should do if they get something that looks legitimate, but they're not really sure. What's the very first step they should take?
Yeah, the very first step is look closely at what you're seeing. I mean, with the scam that came out yesterday, if you look closely, you can see that it's most likely created through artificial intelligence. So if you look at the State of Utah seal, it doesn't say the great state of Utah. It says the crane of the great Utah. So it's just obviously it's fabricated. Another thing, as you mentioned, is there is no Department of Safety and Homeland Security here in Utah. There are some departments throughout the country that have that name. So what I'm gathering is most likely artificial intelligence was used to create this, and there's those inconsistencies. We don't see the same inconsistencies that we used to see in the past with grammar like we used to, because that AI is definitely enhancing that. But still, as you look closer and you see something like immediate action and threats, that's definitely not what our government does. So the best thing you can do is take a close look right up front.
Yeah, and I'm embarrassed because I didn't. I mean, I looked at it and I thought it looked legit. But if you look at it says the crane seal of Utah.
I know, isn't that weird? But look, one of our texters, Tanner, sent us a picture, and it's from the state of Nevada, but the same thing. The crane seal of
doesn't
the
even look like-
land or
Yeah,
something,
it doesn't
and then
look
it's
like
like
the state.
a Nevada thing. So it's like this is broader than just Utah as well.
Yeah, it goes out throughout the nation, and they cast a wide net to try and find anybody that falls for it. And unfortunately, they do have people that fall for it and pay them money, and so that's what keeps them being aggressive and trying to find new ways to scam people.
What does the department do, or maybe, for example, what does the Department of Motor Vehicles do, Tanner, when they're trying to collect on past debt? Do you know what their procedure would be so that people know the difference between a legit request and a scam?
Yeah, great question. The Department of Public Safety, DMV, you won't see requests like this come through as collectors. If it's a traffic violation or something like that, that'll come through the courts. It'll come through official letter, most likely sent to somebody's address. You won't find a text or an email, especially if the email doesn't have utah.gov associated with it. It won't have that threatening act immediate or else this will happen. That's just not how we do business.
So, yeah. One of the other scams, and I don't know if it's still out there, Tanner, maybe you can help us know if it is, but I have, so first of all, I received that on my phone, the most recent one. I also have received in the past a scam that was like, you have refused to pay your toll on Utah's roads, and so now we're collecting and you owe penalties. Utah doesn't really have toll roads like that, right? So are there other scams right now that you're keeping an eye on?
Yeah, the toll road, DMV, this new one, they're continually changing their tactics to try and cast that wide net and catch people off guard. And we can anticipate that they'll continue to do this. And we can also anticipate that as artificial intelligence becomes more swift in changing their tactics, that they'll be harder and harder to see. But the good rule is always if you see one of these and it does look legitimate, you can always just find the actual phone number by searching online and calling that organization to verify. That would be your best way to make sure that you're not caught off guard on a scam.
From your end, it's got to be nearly impossible, Tanner, to source these, to find out where this is coming from, isn't it?
Yeah, these are definitely taking place overseas for the most part. And so we work closely with our partners with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And each one of these scams that comes in, they're reported and investigated. Many times, unfortunately, they are traced back to overseas nations that are difficult to work with to get these individuals to stop and prosecuted.
So is there any recourse for somebody who maybe has sent money to this scam?
It's very difficult to find a way to get recourse with these scams. The best thing to do is to report if you do have losses to your local police department and get that documented. And then IC3.gov, which is the FBI website that collects information on these scams. And as I mentioned, they try and sometimes are successful, especially with larger scams that impact individuals more financially. They are successful sometimes getting funds back, but it is very difficult.
All right. Thanks for that. That was Chief of Investigations at Utah Department of Public Safety, Tanner Jensen. And we had another texter, Greg, that just told us they got it twice yesterday. Didn't even have a name or case number on it. So they knew to report it as spam right away. So that was good.
I got a Fix-It ticket a while ago. I had a burned out headline. I just have to tell this story. And quickly. And I didn't, they give you 2 weeks to fix it. I couldn't fix it in 2 weeks. I did finally fix it. And then we got a notice in the mail that I had a warrant. I mean, it was my wife opened this up and she put this big question. I'm like, what did you do? What's going on? I'm like, I paid it. It's good. We're cool. But,
anyway, just speaking of scams really quickly, I told you I got called for jury duty and it was supposed to be next week. And it took me 45 minutes to make sure that it wasn't a scam because there are jury duty scams out there too. And I had to make sure it was actually legitimate. It was, and they've canceled the trial, so I don't have to go. But I was like so skeptical. It's like, yeah, this can't be real.
Right. My warrant was legit. But we took care of it.
True confessions on Inside Sources. Look, having all bachelor's degrees in 3 years and 7-week terms, that's a really interesting, I think, proposal. It's not just a proposal, it's a practice, and it's happening at Ensign College. When we come back, we're going to talk with Ensign College President Bruce Cush. Stay with us.
It was opening night at Hale Center Theater for The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Victor Hugo's classic tale. I was with my son, Ian, and it was nothing short of spectacular. The staging, the costuming, the music, it's simply breathtaking. And, of course, the actors and the voices. You have to see The Hunchback of Notre Dame. It's on the main stage right now at Hale Center Theater. So many of the scenes are never to be forgotten. For example, when Frollo is just struggling with his passion for Esmeralda and his soul, the flames and the tension on the stage is unbelievable. And to see the Hunchback up in the tower with the bells, don't miss Hunchback of Notre Dame. It's underway right now at Hale Center Theater. And continuing, Peter Pan Goes Wrong, that's on the Jewel Box stage, and Hallmarked on the Beehive stage. Get your tickets now, hct.org. Don't miss the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
KSL offers the best daily newsletter in the state. It's the 3 things you need to know. Every weekday, we deliver quality and relevant content to your inbox. No ads, no spam, just the 3 things you need to know to be informed about the world around you. Subscribe today. Visit KSLNewsRadio.com or text the word INBOX to 57500. That's INBOX to 57500.
Only one type of burger. For every pallet. Fries are extra. Large in size. We've got the shakes. Going over the brim.
Hey, this is Chris from JCW's. Put a positive, delicious spin on your day at any one of our 5 locations. In Lehigh, American Fork, Provo, South Jordan, or Harriman. JCW's, quality and a lot of it.
Grand Staircase Escalante is under attack.
Utah politicians are hastily racing to dismantle protections for this special place, one of America's most treasured national monuments and an important part of southern Utah's economy.
An overwhelming majority of Utahns support protecting the Grand Staircase for future generations.
Yet our voices are being ignored by those meant to represent us. Now's the moment to speak up. Learn more about this attack and what could permanently be lost at suwa.org.
Paid for by Southern Utah Wilderness Alliance.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8157. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8157. That's 800-575-8157. Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
My name is Ariel. When I arrived in the U.S. at 19, I struggled to find job opportunities without my high school diploma. My entire life changed when I took a chance and got my high school diploma at age 22. Everything I have, my education, my career, my marriage, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and my teachers. They were with me every step of the way, helping with my English and math, making sure I push through all the challenges.
Ariel, your success proves that what I'm doing as a teacher has real meaning.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
Education was the key that unlocked all my opportunities.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer.
That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
The new Inside Sources.
So we've been talking about scams this morning, but this is not a scam. Getting
legit.
A bachelor's degree in 3 years and doing it now by having 7-week terms. So that's happening at Ensign College, which is literally right next door to us here. So I feel really lucky that we have Ensign College President Bruce Cush with us today. Thanks for joining us, President Cush.
My pleasure.
Holly's been trying to get you in here for a while. She's been looking at your curriculum, looking at what the school's doing, and said, we got to get this guy in. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah, my pleasure. Happy to be here.
I wonder if we can just start with this, the block schedule. So I was a non-traditional student. I went back in my late 40s through my later 50s to get a variety of degrees. But I worked on the 16-week schedule, except for I think a summer term where I squished a bunch in like 6 or 7 weeks. Tell me why you went to a 7-week schedule.
Yeah, so we started a couple of years ago offering online curriculum through our relationship with BYU Pathway in 7-week blocks. And we found that it was working really well for these students that are all over the world studying online. The other thing we found is that because of our relationship with Pathway, if it works for a Pathway student, we're pretty sure it's going to work for an Ensign College student. But we studied this very carefully before we made the decision to go fully 7 weeks with all of our courses. I sent a team of our administrators out to meet with schools that had already implemented 7-week blocks, and they said we just have one regret, is that we didn't start sooner. But the research, as we studied the research all seemed to indicate that students do better in a condensed period of time, taking fewer courses so they can concentrate. And so instead of taking, 12 or 14 credits in a 14 or 16 week period of time, they'll take 6 in 7 weeks. So they're concentrating on 2 classes, maybe 3, but we don't want them to take any more than about 6 or 7 credits. So they can get a full load in 2 7-week blocks. So it doesn't affect financial aid and Pell Grants and all those kinds of things. And our students have adapted remarkably well. We started a year ago. It'll be a year in May that we started. They've adapted remarkably well, and pretty much, every time I'm in the elevator with students and I say, so tell me how 7 weeks is going, I get thumbs up from students all the time. As they're adapting, they really, really like the pacing. We go 7 weeks, they get a week break. We go another 7 weeks, they get a 2-week break. So they get time to recover a little bit if there's a little bit of fatigue. So overall, we couldn't be happier.
Does the curriculum adapt as well? And the reason I asked that, President, is that when I went to the University of Utah, we were on a quarter system, and BYU was on a semester, and so you'd look at a book, and you had to get through this particular subject, whether it was 12 weeks at the U or 15 weeks at BYU. Now you're talking about 7 weeks. Tell us how the professors and how you all adapt the curriculum to that schedule.
Yeah, so in preparation for this, we went back and redesigned every course and converted every course from a 14-week course to a 7-week course. And so now, when we design a new course, we design it for 7 weeks, and we just do it from the very beginning. And so we've got a very talented group of instructional designers actually distributed all over the state of Utah. And they worked really hard to get ready for this, and they just did a great job of doing the conversion. And faculty have adapted really, really well.
So I want to ask also about 3-year bachelor's degrees. So I understand Ensign College, it's not exclusively offering bachelor's degrees. You offer a variety of certificates and degrees. Is that correct?
Yeah, I describe us as a 3-tiered institution of certificates, associate degrees, and bachelor's degrees. And we have, close to 30 certificate programs and areas of study for our students. And we have, with our bachelor's degrees, which we began offering in 2021, we now have 10 areas of emphasis, of falling under the categories of business management, communications, and information technology. So, and then we received last fall approval from our accreditor, the Northwest Commission on Colleges and Universities, to offer 3-year degrees. And beginning in the fall, everything that we offer is going to be a 3-year degree, with the exception of what we offer international students, because we don't yet have Department of Ed approval for international students to take the 3-year degree. So there will be, for them, there will continue to be the 120 credit option, but for everybody else, it's all 3 years.
When I think of Ensign College, President, I think of it as largely a business college, but you must have a lot of degrees that are outside of that realm, and maybe some of the certificates and associate degrees are different than just a straight-up business-oriented degree.
Yeah, so we have things in the area of software development, cybersecurity. We have medical assisting, medical billing and coding. We have an interior design program that is just amazing, the work that these students are producing. But we have social media marketing and digital content creation. We have a beautiful studio. You should come and broadcast sometime from our studio.
That'd be fun. That'd be a blast.
Where students are producing podcasts and things like that. So it's yes, business is a core part of what we do, but there's a lot more that Ensign College offers.
Could you talk to us about the makeup of your Ensign College students? Because I was really fascinated to learn about how many international students you have.
Yeah, it's one of the things, frankly, that I love. I love everything about Ensign College, but I love the fact that we have such a large population of international students. It varies from semester to semester, but we have anywhere between 40 and 45% international students that come from over 70 countries around the world. And the interesting thing is we don't recruit international students. They just come. And we have them literally from everywhere. We have a growing population of students coming from Africa. And I think that has something to do with our relationship with BYU Pathway. We have a lot of students from Latin America. Personally, I love that because I speak Spanish, and so it gives me an opportunity to converse with these students on a regular basis. And here's the thing that I think is really a very unique thing for them. They're coming from all over the world. They're working in teams. They're in classes together. And they're learning to work in a culture of diversity. Language, different, culture, customs, food preferences, and things like that. And we have activities that bring them together. And I think when they leave Ensign College and they go wherever they go in the world, and they're working with people on a global scale somewhere, they're gonna know how to interact with others and appreciate the differences because of what they learned at Ensign College about working with people that are culturally diverse.
What do you find is, and we've only got about a minute left, is attracting local kids to Ensign College? People who are graduating from high school right now. What's attracting them to Ensign College? Because you do seem to have a pretty vibrant student body.
Yeah. So affordability. We have the lowest tuition in the state of Utah. So I think that attracts a lot of kids. Our size, we're small. Students know their teachers. Teachers know their students. And when they come to Ensign College, they find a place where they discover the greatness in them. It's a place where they're nurtured, they feel known, and they come and they discover they can do more than they ever thought possible.
Very well.
I'm going to give you one quick text from somebody who's listening, and they said, Ensign College is the single biggest educational provider to inmates at the Utah State Prison. It is amazing.
Yes, in fact, we will have our first graduating class on April 15th, and I can hardly wait to be there to recognize them.
That is
I had
amazing.
no idea. That's wonderful. That's a
Thank
field
you.
I'm into a lot, and I travel out there quite a bit. So good for you. Good for you. And
Thank
we
you
want
for
your
joining
students
us.
to come here anytime, and especially those in
Awesome.
in this field.
That's right. Thank you for joining us today, President Bush.
When we come back, Governor Cox has vetoed a couple of bills, including one that would have put internet on rural school buses. We actually talked about that a couple of weeks ago. We'll break down the details when we come back.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Good morning. It's 10 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Isabella Sosa. KSL's top story this hour. The investigation into a massive house fire in Cottonwood Heights ramps up today. KSL News Radio's Don Brinkerhoff has been in the neighborhood near the 18,000-foot mansion.
There's still quite a bit of smoke rising from the home and drifting through this neighborhood, and I could smell that distinct odor that comes from a house or brush fire. After seeing some of the videos from the fire yesterday, I was a little surprised, but from what I can see, much of the roof seems to still be intact, but there are obvious signs of damage.
We're hoping to get an update from fire investigators today. The Utah Avalanche Center says there's some moderate avalanche danger across the state. Forecasters say the hot weather has made snow surfaces unstable and could trigger wet avalanches. However, the cooling temperatures we're expected to have this weekend could help stabilize the ground. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. TSA workers around the country are hopeful they might get paid soon.
The overnight Senate vote has done little to ease the massive lines at airports nationwide. Some of the longest delays are found in Houston.
Traveling from Houston to Baton Rouge.
Standing in line forced Melissa Gates to miss her flight Thursday evening.
I should have just driven. 5 hours would have been hilarious next to this.
Facing weeks without a paycheck, hundreds of TSA officers have quit since the congressional budget impasse began. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Your money at this moment, the Dow is down 398 points, the S&P 500 is down 48, and the NASDAQ is down 228. Coming up, cloudy skies. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 10:01.
Mornings are for recharging.
And they're for starting your day right.
We volunteer to join you in the car. Get news and weather at 102.7 FM during the most important part of your day.
Andy and Amanda, each morning between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio.
Since 1947, Whipple Service Champions has been Utah's most trusted name for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical services. Got a high-priced repair bill from another company and you're just not sure about it? Call Whipple. Get a free, no-pressure estimate or bring us their quote for an honest second opinion, totally free. Whipple Service Champions, Utah's first place for second opinions since 1947. Call 385-273-7167 for your free estimate today. 385-273-7167.
Bad driving habits are hard to break, but good driving habits are easy to form, especially when they can lead to a discount on your auto insurance. With Farm Bureau Financial Services, the safer you drive, the more you save. Drivers like you are saving an average of $321 per vehicle. So buckle up, learn more, and find an agent at fbfs.com/save. Individual savings results may vary. Farm Bureau Property and Casualty Insurance Company, Western Agricultural Insurance Company.
I'm Congressman Mike Kennedy. For years, Utah families have paid too much for health care, groceries, and everyday essentials. I'm fighting for health care reform that puts patients first and lowers costs. I'm also working to cut waste, fraud, and abuse in Washington because your tax dollars should be spent wisely. Fiscal responsibility means lower costs and a government that works for you. I'm Mike Kennedy, and I'll keep fighting for Utah families. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
Ever notice how your floors still look dirty, even after you mop?
Yeah, what's up with that?
Swiffer Power Mop gives you a deeper clean you can actually see.
I'm listening.
Unlike string mops, Swiffer Power Mop absorbs more dirt and locks it away, even in those hard-to-reach spots.
Like behind the toilet?
Exactly. The new micro scrubbers deliver thousands of tiny deep cleaning actions, so your floors look, smell, and feel clean.
Bye-bye, dirty floors. Hello, Swiffer Power Mop.
Try the Swiffer Power Mop. Love it or your money back.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by UCCU. Earn 4.24% on savings at uccu.com. Let's go to the KSL Traffic Center.
We do have a crash on Legacy Highway. This is southbound just after the West Davis Highway merge. They're blocking a left shoulder and not adding to too many delays there. And we also do have a brand new report of a crash on northbound Bangerter Highway just before 4700 South. Again, no delays there either. Where we do have delays, though, is eastbound Pioneer Crossing in that construction zone. It's slow and go starting just before you get to 7800 West, reaching all the way over to I-15. On I-15, you shouldn't see any accidents or delays all across the Wasatch Front. Traffic's rough, but your parking lot doesn't have to be. GoPave Utah keeps things smooth with expert asphalt maintenance at GoPaveUtah.com. That's GoPaveUtah.com. Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
Today's high is 68 with a low of 39 and mostly cloudy skies. Right now, it's partly cloudy and 46 degrees. I'm Isabella Sosa from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
Well, you taught me a lot about this particular event, but yesterday was, I think, the last day for the governor to either sign or veto bills from the recent legislative session, and he did a little bit of both. And he did a third thing, which is nothing, as it relates to at least one bill.
Yeah, that's right. And so Utah allows for 20 days after the legislative session ends for the governor to sign, veto, or allow to pass into law without his signature bills. He can also line item veto appropriations, so spending, and he did that on 2 line items. And we'll talk about each one of those.
Okay, let's talk about this first. The bill that I want to talk about first is one that we talked about on this show
several times.
I don't recall who the legislator was that had proposed it, but he or she joined us. And this one dealt with putting internet on rural school buses so that kids who have these longer commutes can work and get some homework done rather than just sit there and enjoy the scenery. And I thought it made a lot of sense. It didn't seem to be particularly expensive, and it was a little bit of a pilot program, it seemed like, for rural counties.
And it wasn't controversial going through the legislature. So the sponsor was Representative Tiara Axier.
That's right.
She's in Morgan County, and she was they really, even by the end of the legislative session, they had really narrowed it down to rural counties and taking these extended trips. And she talked to us before the end of the legislative session talking about kids can be on buses for 3 or 4 hours even, right? But they have to submit their homework via online. They have to submit it online. Well, when the governor vetoed the bill, he issued a letter, and it goes to the Senate president and the Speaker of the House, and he says, look, these are the decisions I made, and this is why. And he said, I acknowledge and respect the sponsor's goal of helping students get their homework done, even while they participate in extracurricular activities, mentions that he grew up in a rural district. But he said, I'm very concerned about signaling to our students that we value more time spent on devices rather than more time interacting with one another face to face. Our kids need less screen time, he said.
Yeah, that's an interesting argument to that. And I appreciate what he's saying. That is, we simply need less screen time. So let the kids talk, let them enjoy, let them interact with each other rather than just getting right back onto some sort of a device where they're looking at a screen.
I thought it was interesting, too, that he said this. He said, first of all, I understand the practical reality that kids are pushed to devices to do their homework, but it doesn't have to be that way. And he said, if this bill had required schools to provide paper assignments to students who are involved in extracurricular activities to add greater flexibility, I would have supported it.
Yeah, and that bill may come back in some sense then, just thinking about that. Let's talk about the second bill that he vetoed, because I wasn't as familiar with this one.
So this bill is HB 164. It's healthcare patient reporting to the Division of Professional Licensing. This bill was run by Representative Stephanie Grecius. She's out in the Eagle Mountain area, and the bill tried to do 2 things. And first, it would have required healthcare providers and their employees to tell a patient how to file a complaint with DOPL if they had concerns about a provider's conduct. And then second, the bill would have required disclosures to a patient before a doctor could enter into a settlement agreement. that would have precluded the patient from filing a complaint. So he said that while this bill was moving through the process, there was a second bill on the same topic, and he felt like there was a conflict. He felt like the Senate bill had the policy better, the policy set forward in Senate Bill 117 better accomplished the stated intent, and so he vetoed this House bill.
There were a few bills, I think, at the last legislative session that the governor vetoed. And as a result of that, the legislature called a special session, and which they do periodically. I would assume these are not the kind of bills. I don't know what kind of support they had, but these don't seem to be that controversial that the legislature is going to say, "Hey, wait a minute, Governor,
we need to
override this."
Yeah, and what they typically do, and I don't even know if they're going to have any kind of formal conversation, but typically they will poll the members of the body and say, "Do you want to have a veto override session?" You have to override with 2/3 majority in both bodies to get the override, and I suspect that you're correct. I don't think that there will be as much interest in overriding the governor's veto. I want to say this too. He added in this letter, he goes, "There were bills I would not have voted for. There were priorities I wish had turned out differently. Some bills fell short of what I would prefer without rising to the level of a veto." But there was one bill, as we mentioned, that he is going to allow to go into law without his signature. So it's a way to say, look, I don't really approve of this bill, but it's going to become law. And this is the bill, and then I'm going to tell you why. So the bill is House Bill 195. It's Precious Metals Amendments. So the bill requires the state to, quote, establish and operate a precious metals-backed electronic payment system on the state's behalf. And then he said this: "I vetoed essentially the same bill last year. With this year's bill, while I've received some messages in support of the bill, I have also received a significant number of messages in opposition, and many are concerned that this will result in unwelcome government involvement in the gold market. While I vetoed this bill last year, the legislature passed it again this year. In fact, the legislature passed the bill even after it failed in a Senate committee. The committee brought it back and passed it. Then it failed on the Senate floor. Then the Senate brought it back and passed it." And he said, "Even though I signaled my concerns about the bill, the legislature appears to be intent on passing the bill."
I don't know that I understand it really well. It requires the state to establish and operate a precious metals-backed electronic payment system. In other words,
gold-backed. Yeah, exactly. That is exactly what it does. Right. And so there are concerns. And he said, I have concerns. Legislators have concerns. Banks have concerns. But you guys seem intent on passing the bill. So I'm going to let it go through.
You know, when I ran for political office, there were always candidates, not necessarily running for what I was, but who were saying we need to go to a gold-backed system. We need to go to a gold-backed financial system.
We left that behind a long time ago in the United States. But yeah.
But maybe not.
Yep.
If we're still talking about that.
And then he issued 2 line item vetoes because he can do that on appropriations bills, so on spending the money. And the reason he did 2, because there was one, the one that he just vetoed with the healthcare patient reporting. So he line item vetoed the funding that would have gone along with that bill. And then he issued a line item veto that was put in the appropriations bill, but the bill actually didn't pass. And so he just struck that out of the appropriations bill. The bill didn't pass, and so there's nothing to fund. And so he struck that off the bill.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
Why?
Well, because if it didn't pass, why?
It was in the appropriations bill, though. So the underlying bill didn't pass. So it was on artificial intelligence. They had money set aside. It was funded, and then the actual bill didn't pass. And so he said, well, we're not going to pay for a bill that didn't pass.
I understand. So just describe to me, because I learned this in high school, a line item veto, meaning the governor can look over a bill and strike a particular provision of the bill, if it's an appropriation.
In Utah, if it's an appropriations bill. There are, I think, other places where you can strike off other types of bills with just a line. But here in Utah, it has to do with the funding, with appropriations, and the governor does have the ability to say we're not going to fund that. So he exercised that with 2 bills, one that didn't pass and one that was vetoed.
He did say one thing. There were fewer bills this year, which is a good thing.
So there were fewer bills that passed. Yeah. So, 540.
More bills considered. Less that hit his desk. Right.
Yeah, fewer that hit his desk. So that's where we are with the Utah legislature. Now, speaking of signatures, President Trump is going to have his signature added to American currency, which has never, ever happened before with the sitting president. So we're going to talk about that when we come back.
Jackson Hewitt has a great tax prep deal, $149 or less. Missing out is like ignoring the check engine light in your car. You'll regret it. Seriously, the price is only $149 or less, no matter how complicated. So don't wait. Like when you get a password expires today alert or you're shopping online and there's only one item left. It's like your taxes are in the cart. Just complete the purchase. Hurry. This deal for $149 or less is like your phone at 1%. It's about to power down. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
What in the world is going on?
You didn't hear? You can get iPhone 16e at Cricket Wireless for $0 when you switch.
iPhone 16e for $0.
No way. Yeah, and it has Apple Intelligence so you can clean up your photos.
Clean up your photos.
Okay, but what's the hurry?
The offer ends soon.
What they said.
Switch to Cricket and get iPhone 16e for $0 with no activation fee. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Requires new line and port in on the $60 Supreme Unlimited plan. First month service charge and tax to its sale. Terms and restrictions apply. See store for details.
Grand Staircase Escalante is under attack. Utah politicians are hastily racing to dismantle protections for this special place, one of America's most treasured national monuments and an important part of southern Utah's economy. An overwhelming majority of Utahns support protecting the Grand Staircase for future generations. Yet our voices are being ignored by those meant to represent us. Now's the moment to speak up. Learn more about this attack and what could permanently be lost at suwa.org. Paid for by Southern Utah Wilderness Alliance.
Well, the movie show broadcasting live today from NPS at 1150 North Main Street in Layton. And Val, this is your first time at NPS. It's pretty impressive.
I could get lost in this store, and I think if I stayed here all day, I would not see everything. This is crazy. I'm looking at purses. I'm looking at workout clothes. I'm sitting right next to books, so I'm going to be into that.
Books are $2 each, no matter what size, no matter how big, thick, whatever. Yeah, that's one of the favorite things is people walk in NPS. Some people beeline straight for the books so they can get, you got bestsellers, you got cookbooks, you got all kinds of different things. Doesn't matter what the original price was. At NPS, it's $2.
Wow, I'm going to be spending a lot of time there.
Yeah, and here's the other cool thing that you'll learn about NPS is you could spend the whole day here, Val, and by the end of the day, you're going to have spots where the merchandise is completely different than what you did to start the day.
Are they rotating during the day?
They rotate during the day. In fact, that's a specific thing they do here at the Layton NPS is because they said, you know what, the people that come here first should get some first dibs on stuff, but what about the people who can't get here at 10 o'clock in the morning? We want to hook them up too, so they rotate some new stuff in so that through the day when people arrive, it's something different. Not the whole entire store, obviously, but a whole bunch of different things, clothes especially.
Yeah, and I see that they've got bikes and all these workout uniforms. I am trying to get back into my summer bod, right? Because I was like, winter. Gained maybe like 10 pounds. They've got bikes, they've got weights, they've got everything that I need here to meet that goal. So a little later on before we leave, I've been looking for a bike.
Well, I think you might just
Maybe
find
I'll
it
ride
today.
it home.
Here's the really cool thing about NPS, just so you know. Everything in here is brand new. This is not a secondhand store. This is brand new retail and got the original tags on it. Then NPS marks it down. So you see the original price. NPS marks it down 30 to 70% off. Then they throw bonuses on top of that. Like right now you could go over to the clothing, and if you found a top that you liked, you'd look at the price, you'd look at the 30 to 70% off price, and then you chop that in half.
I'm in so much trouble.
Welcome to the club. That's what NPS does so well. They've got 4 locations, one in Orem at 475 North State. Here in Layton, where we're broadcasting live today till 1 o'clock at 1150 North Main, and in Salt Lake, 2 stores next to each other at 1600 South Empire Road.
You're the gatekeeper of green, the master of mowing, the wizard of watering schedules. When it comes to your lawn, power moves are the only moves you make. That's why you use IFA's 4+ Lawn Care program, with nutrients blended for greener, healthier turf in our local soil. IFA's 4+ Lawn Care program. It's the ultimate lawn owner power move.
Any Hour Services can help unclog any drain in your house, whether you have a backup, a clog, or a slow drain you want fixed. Call Any Hour Services or visit anyhourservices.com.
Every 2 minutes, an American is sexually assaulted. Be the someone who gives their time. Be the someone who lends an ear. Be the someone who takes a step. This is Christina Ricci with RAIN. asking you to join the fight against sexual violence and volunteer in your community. Log on to RAINN.org, that's RAINN.org, to learn how you can be the someone.
This message brought to you by the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network and this station.
Inside Sources.
Well, apparently President Trump's signature is going to be added to U.S. currency. Here's ABC's Hannah Butta with more information.
For the first time in American history, the signature of a sitting president will soon be featured on U.S. currency. The Treasury announcing the decision to celebrate the nation's 250th birthday this summer, saying President Trump's signature is not only appropriate, but also well-deserved.
That was ABC's Hannah Bata. Excuse me for that. A president's signature will first appear on the $100 bill, and then I think it moves down from there.
Wait, I got to ask you this. Is he going to sign it with an auto pen?
You better not. This is what's unprecedented about this is that
everything.
Yeah, virtually everything, but certainly the fact that he is a sitting president is highly unusual.
Well, look, so it's never happened before that a sitting president has their name on paper currency. Do you know whose signature is actually on the currency? It's the U.S. Treasurer.
Okay.
There had been some discussion at one point to also either switch out or include, in addition to the treasurer, the Federal Reserve chair. That would be something. but there's never been a sitting president who has had his name or his likeness on currency.
Yeah. Well, so here's the timeline for this.
The first $100 bills with Trump's signature will be produced in June, followed by other denominations. Earlier this month, a federal commission whose members were appointed by the president approved the design for a gold commemorative coin with Trump's image.
And you have to know also that has never been done before because there are specific laws that prohibit a sitting president from having their face on a coin.
Until now, maybe.
Until now.
We'll see. It's unusual, kind of unnecessary. I'm not sure what's going on here. He wants a signature on all of the currency eventually, and is now creating. And this gold coin is huge.
It's 3 inches in diameter, and it is the largest allowable. Right, so it's a commemorative gold coin. Also, a move to get President Trump's likeness on a silver dollar. I don't know where that's at because that's not a commemorative coin. But I don't know if you remember this. There was a discussion. It's been a while, but we were going to have Harriet Tubman become the face of the $20 bill instead of an enslaver. And it was approved, and then it just didn't go anywhere.
And the silver dollar in the United States has been a failure, or the dollar coin, I should say, because after the silver dollars quit being minted, we had the Eisenhower dollar that lasted for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't particularly popular. And since then, we've had 2 or 3 different variations of a dollar coin. I think we even had a $2 coin once that just the Susan B. Anthony dollar.
There's $2 bills.
Right. Yeah, $2 bills. But we had coins. In Canada, they have these $2 coins. They're used all the time. I don't know why, but in the United States, the dollar coin, and I'm off topic here a little bit just because I collect coins, the dollar coin was never popular for whatever reason.
We just don't really use coins, right? And so
Right.
now we've stopped minting the penny, you know that, right? But we just don't use a lot of coins. But the history of who gets to sign the money goes back to 1861. And that was when President Abraham Lincoln signed a bill allowing the Treasury Secretary to delegate the Treasurer of the United States, so 2 different people, Treasury Secretary and Treasurer, to sign Treasury notes and bonds. So what we're going to have is President Trump's signature alongside Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, which means the U.S. Treasurer's name will not be on the bill anymore.
So part of this is, which does make some sense, we're about to have our 250th anniversary. And so I think there are a lot of things going on nationally to support that. And maybe having the president's name on a dollar bill is sort of patriotic. I can understand doing some things like this that may be of some, I don't know, give it some patriotic effect for the big anniversary that's coming up in July.
I think it honestly has more to do with President Trump wanting to make a mark and leave a notable mark, right? And I think that he has definitely done that in many different ways. But let me, this is from a New York Times article. Brandon Beach is Mr. Trump's treasurer right now. He actually supports this idea, and this is what he said. The president's mark on history as the architect of America's golden age economic revival is undeniable. Printing his signature on the American currency is not only appropriate, but well-deserved. I think there's a little bit of disconnect between this idea of America's golden age and rising inflation and tariffs. We're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of tariffs being placed and people who are struggling to find jobs in today's economy. But nonetheless, we are going to have currency with President Trump's signature on it.
It's I don't know. I guess I have mixed feelings about it. It seems completely unnecessary, but on the other hand, I don't see a downside to it if he wants to put his signature on a dollar bill. But it's going to start with a $100 bill. They're going to start in June, and then I guess it will go down from there. This is a dumb thing to say because I don't know, but I think the $100 bill is as big as it goes. There may be a $1,000 bill that's rare, but I
don't know.
Yeah, I've never
actually
seen anything bigger than a $100 bill.
I think back in the day, a long time ago, there used to be like a $10,000 bill, but that didn't last.
Yeah, so then it will go down to the 50, 20, 10, 5, 1. They're different denominations. My guess is that he will want his signature on all of those eventually.
Okay. The largest bill ever printed in U.S. currency was the $100,000 gold certificate. It was used exclusively for transactions between the Federal Reserve banks and not circulated to the public. The largest bill ever in public circulation was the $10,000 bill. And today, you are correct, the highest denomination is the $100 bill.
And I happen to have one, and it is signed
You
by
just carry it in your
two
pocket.
people here. Mine is signed by. It's got Benjamin Franklin on it, and people call them Franklins or Benjamins or whatever.
Right.
Secretary of the Treasury and the Treasurer of the United States. So Trump's signature will replace the Treasurer.
Yep.
Okay, but the Secretary of the Treasury will still be there. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I've
So
got all the denominations, just so you know here.
Yeah, so all high denomination bills, even a $500 bill up to the $10,000 bill, they're still legal tender, but they're really rare and they're mostly held by collectors. So interesting. So there's other ways too that the president has put his name on things, right? So we have the Kennedy Trump Center or the Trump Kennedy Center. I forget what order. It's going to be closed for a couple of years. We know that. So we also have, I would say, a number of ways the president has made a mark already that I think we're going to look back on and say, well, are we going to call it the Trump-Iran war? I'm not sure, but we could.
Right. And I think he wants to build a battleship or a carrier.
The USS Trump.
Right, yeah.
That makes sense.
We do have a question posed here. Do people even carry cash anymore?
I don't carry
pulled
cash.
Out a wad
I know
in
you
my
did.
pocket.
It's like I don't carry cash. I don't carry coins. I don't carry cash. I'm totally cashless. So
I have decided this though: the $100 bill is worthless. You can't go spend it anywhere. Try to go in the morning and get a cup of coffee.
Well, I
with
know
$100
they put a
bill.
thing. No, you can't.
They look
do it.
at you like you're crazy.
They can't do it. In fact, there's signs on the doors, right? Nothing bigger than a $20 bill. Thank you very much.
In fact, sometimes I'll go to a place to get a cup of coffee on my way to the studio in the mornings, and they'll just say, "We don't even take cash." Like,
Really?
just give us a credit
wow.
card, and that's it. They don't, even if you have the exact denomination, they won't take it.
Well, when I check out at the grocery store, sometimes they have the self-checkout now, and there are some of the self-checkout things that will pop up a notice that say, credit card only.
Only, yeah. Don't bother.
If you don't have cash, like if you have cash, don't use this kiosk. Okay.
If you do have cash, don't give anything bigger than a $20 bill because it can't make change.
Right, exactly. So there is a note that while federal law bans the image of a sitting president from appearing on currency, the current administration is arguing that doesn't apply to commemorative coins, which is how we're getting that 3-inch commemorative gold coin, 24-karat gold coin. So
it may be worth something down the road, commemorative. Well,
sure.
When we come back after the break, we talked in the last segment about Utah's governor vetoing a bill because of his concern over reliance of technology by Utah's kids. But we're now learning that First Lady Melania Trump just held an event, and this was kind of cool. She's walking alongside a robot, but she's promoting using robots to teach kids. We'll be talking about this apparent contradiction with Utah Representative Ariel DeFay when we come back.
Good morning. It's 10:29 at KSL News Radio. I'm Isabella Sosa. KSL's top local story this hour. The Ogden Chief of Police issued a fiery statement last night after the sentencing of a former officer convicted of sexual abuse. KSL News Radio's Cameron Elliott has the story.
Ogden Police Chief Jake Suby blasted former officer Colton Johansson, saying his conduct was, quote, a serious violation of the law, department policy, and the public's trust. This all comes after Johansson pled guilty late last year to 2 counts of attempted sexual exploitation of a minor and 1 count of forcible sexual abuse. He had been serving as a school resource officer at Ogden High and was applying to a job at another law enforcement agency when he admitted to his crimes as part of a required polygraph test. His comments quickly made their way back to Ogden Police, where Chief Suby says he fired him within days and referred him for a criminal investigation. Chief Suby also criticized Judge Catherine Conklin for a sentence he deemed too light, 30 days of jail and a suspended prison sentence. Cameron Elliott, KSL News Radio.
In national news, CNN is reporting hackers connected to the Iranian government have accessed FBI Director Kash Patel's personal email. They've pulled a series of photos from before Patel was in charge of the FBI, all dating from 2011 to 2022. Experts tell CNN this isn't really an FBI issue, but it is a personal junk drawer. Your money at this moment, the Dow is down 494 points, the S&P 500 down 63 points, and the NASDAQ is down 301. Coming up, high 60s. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 10:31.
A reminder about the simplest way to get updated for your day.
Hit your KSL preset when you jump in the car, and we'll take care of the rest.
Hear key news updates and traffic reports.
Andy and Amanda from 5 to 9 in your car.
KSL News Radio at 102.7 FM.
The movie show broadcasting live today from NPS in Layton. We call it the nicest place to save, although that's not your official name, Lauren, but it's the truth.
No, it is
regardless of whether it's the actual name. And we're introducing Val to NPS. This is her first time at NPS since she's joined the show. And so all this stuff that you got going on, we're trying to help her understand why it's such a good deal. I end up spending so much of my paycheck here every time we come here. Although when I spend it, I get so much more stuff.
You do. And the reason for that is we specialize in overstock, refused, and different kinds of inventory overstock from lots of different places across the country. And we bring it in here and mark it down anywhere from 30 to 70% off retail and pass the savings on.
She didn't know you had a grocery part here too, boy.
Yeah, we do.
Wait till she gets a chance to shop there.
With groceries and books and bikes,
Yep.
I'm in deep trouble.
We're a great place for you to save your money, especially the way everything else is going out there.
Yeah, you guys have always said are recession proof because your prices stay low no matter what prices everywhere else go to. You're already going to be 30 to 70% lower. And then you throw in bonus deals on top of stuff. I mean, there was one time, I kid you not, I paid $300 for a $1,200 suit.
I believe it. Yep.
Here at NPS.
What? So I'm not in trouble because everything that I need is going to be so much less.
Now you're catching
My husband's going to be
on.
so excited.
Yeah, it'll be great. And we got it all. I mean, Andy mentioned food earlier. We got 6-pound crinkle fries. That'll be great because everybody's going on vacation next week. Got the kids
By the
at
way,
home.
if
It's a
you've
great
never
snack.
done Dutch oven French fries on a camp, so
Delicious.
good.
Yep.
So good.
Delicious. We've got that 6-pound bag for $5.99.
Yeah. And I've already got me a box of these pretzel twists, a 32-count box for $8.
He ran over so excited about it, like it was Christmas morning.
That's how it always is when Andy comes in the store.
Well, that's the thing. So actually, some of the NPS is yours. Look on the shirt. It says certified treasure hunter. People come to NPS to treasure hunt. They don't know what they're going to find, but they usually found something that they never thought they were going to find and that they absolutely have to have. And I promise you, when you walk around later, Val, you're not going to walk out of here empty-handed.
And you told me books are $2.
Yeah, and you're sitting right next to a big bookcase. There's even more, by the way. I think
$2 now,
towards the back.
unless otherwise priced. We do get some
Oh,
other
there
books in that we
are
do price a
so-
little higher. Like we had some of these commemorative concert books that came in. We priced those a little bit higher, but you're still getting a great deal on those.
Amazing.
30 to 70% off, 4 locations at NPS. If you've never been, come say hi to us in Layton today. If you're in Davis County at all, driving by 1150 North Main, you can go to Orem at 475 North State or in the Salt Lake Valley at 1600 South Empire Road.
Imagine a world where you can leave the house and take your home Wi-Fi speeds with you. Thanks to Xfinity Mobile, it's not just a fantasy. Just picture it. You're at your kid's soccer practice streaming the other game in 4K. Just like that. In the airport, download a cozy family comedy in a snap with Wi-Fi Power Boost. What if the places you had to be felt more like everywhere you wanted to be? That's the magic of Xfinity Mobile. Reliable Wi-Fi and 5G when you need it. Xfinity. Imagine that. Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Visit XfinityMobile.com to learn more. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus regular rates for 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of 2/10/26. Taxes, fees, extra after promo. Regular rates apply. Xfinity. Imagine that.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by UCCU. Build smart, save big with construction loans at UCCU. Here's Cormac Bone.
We do have a couple of crashes on the roads, no delays where they're at, but on northbound Bangerter Highway at 4700 South, they are blocking the left shoulder. That's actually a disabled vehicle, but again, no delays as you pass them by. Just give them the space so that they can work on that crash safely. And then we also have this crash on southbound Legacy Highway just before 400 North. They're blocking the right shoulder. That car used to be in between both directions of travel on Legacy Highway, but now they're just on the right shoulder. I-15 still a clean and clear drive all across the Wasatch Front. No matter the weather, your feet can feel fantastic. Find the Good Feet location nearest you at goodfeet.com. Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
Today's highs are up in the high 60s, and this weekend we'll go back to record temperatures in the high 70s. Right now, it's mostly cloudy and 48 degrees. I'm Isabella Sosa from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
First Lady Melania Trump held an event, I think it was yesterday, it was maybe the day before, but she had a humanoid robot attend with her and walk in with her. The robot even addressed the crowd, right, saying, welcome.
It was really impressive, the robot's mechanics walking upright, a very thin figure, and just being able to, the balance that it requires for something like that is really remarkable.
So there's a couple of things I want to point out about that before we get to our guest. So she invited her guests to envision a future in which a robot philosopher educated children. This is according to a New York Times article that covered her event. Researchers are split about the benefits of using artificial intelligence to educate children, but some see its potential as a tool. And then there were some researchers last year that showed children demonstrated less anxiety when reading to a robot versus a human teacher. In other studies, this is concerning, children have formed social bonds with robots as they have practiced skills, including handwriting. And then the Reuters report covering this same event said that the First Lady described how in the near future, a hypothetical humanoid teacher could quickly access classical studies, mathematics, and other subjects to deliver personalized education to students based on their learning speed and, quote, emotional state. Okay.
I don't know. I liked my teachers.
Look, okay, so here in Utah, the governor just vetoed a bill because of his concern about over-reliance on technology by Utah kids. Representative Ariel DeFay had a bill pass that is really trying to put constraints on over-reliance on technology in the classroom. And I wanted to talk to her. Thank you for joining us, Representative DeFay. I wanted to talk to you about this. It seems to be a contradiction. Here you have the First Lady saying, hey, look, we're going to have these humanoid robots being able to teach kids. And in Utah, we're saying, hey, we're relying on technology too much. What's your take?
Well, thank you, Greg and Holly, for having me this morning. Greg, I'm with you. I like my teachers.
Yes, I passed a bill. It was called the Balance Act, and it was really taking a balanced approach to technology use in the classroom. And I sit on the Legislative Task Force for Artificial Intelligence, and both the legislative and executive branches have worked together to take a really human-centered approach to artificial intelligence. And while we recognize that AI can be a powerful tool, and I think that's what it should remain as a tool, that humans should remain in charge with a clear human in the loop at all times.
Tell us about the Balance Act. Tell us what's being balanced and how that's implemented, how it could be implemented.
Yeah, so it's passed and the governor has signed it. It was House Bill 273. What that does is it requires districts and charter schools to create a policy around technology, around artificial intelligence use, and also around grade level appropriateness for the use of technology. So in implementation, what this means is that local school boards and communities get together and talk about the tools that are working well for our children, putting guardrails around them, making sure that they're being used appropriately, and just having that discussion about how much is the right and balanced use of technology.
So, Representative DeFay, do you feel like it's a contradiction, Utah's approach versus the First Lady who says, I can envision a future where we've got these humanoid robots teaching our kids?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, I certainly appreciate looking towards innovation and the use of technology, but there is strong evidence that human connection plays a critical role in how children learn. Relationships that students build with teachers, they foster academic growth and confidence and resilience and social development. And things like empathy and compassion are not replicated, authentically by machines. And so those human qualities, I think, are essential in the classroom.
There's just so much going on in our society right now, Representative, with respect to artificial intelligence, with respect to things like robotics, and the legislature seems to be on top of these issues really well. As you look forward to sessions in the future and our kids and what they're learning in high school and junior high, what do you think the direction we're going to go in Utah? I know this is sort of crystal ball kind of stuff, but we really do have to strike a balance. Yeah,
I think, well, first of all, Utah is leading the nation when it comes to artificial intelligence policy. We were the first in the nation to adopt an Office of Artificial Intelligence. Many of our policies that we have passed and we are passing are being mirrored in other states. So we will continue to take the lead. We are very cognizant of the balance between innovation and safeguarding our children and our citizens. And I think that will be the theme as we move forward, is making sure that we're not stifling innovation, but also really protecting people and making sure, like I said, I think we have to keep a human in the loop. We have to make sure that our children are having proper interactions and connections with humans. And so that's something we never want to lose and we'll continue to safeguard.
I'm concerned about the attachment that people can get to AI companions. So we've talked on the show before about people who marry their AI companions, but just in one of these articles, just reading that kids are forming attachments with their AI companions who help them with handwriting. I mean, to me, that's like one of the hugest issues here.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. In fact, we had an AI companion bill that did not pass this session, but I think it's something that you will see come back in future sessions. I think the important thing is making sure that our kids know what artificial intelligence is. In fact, so in the Balance Act, there was a provision that puts AI in the core standards so that children are now going to learn, starting in kindergarten, what AI is and how to have a healthy relationship with it. So at a very young age, they're learning this is not a human, this is a computer, and it runs on algorithms. And then that will, we'll graduate that appropriately, and you'll get more and more into what AI is and how to use it as a tool and have healthy relationships. And so that was a key piece of as we move forward in the future with artificial intelligence.
Let me ask you one last question, Representative DeFay. We've only got about a minute, but what was your initial reaction to the governor's veto of the bill that would have provided internet access to kids in rural on their school buses?
I wasn't surprised. I had some hesitation with that bill myself. I definitely see the merits of the bill and the arguments behind it, and also I had some concerns about having more screen time, and especially with the Balance Act, as we're trying to move towards a balanced use. I think that kids who want to do homework on school buses, they can now do that on paper, bring it with them. And I think this is actually an opportunity for educators to look at how can we provide opportunities for kids to do homework in an analog method. So I was not surprised by that veto.
All right. Thank you so much. That was Representative Ariel DeFay talking about, again, the role of AI in education. So when we come back, Greg, we'll have a few fun facts and go to the movie show for today.
Can't wait.
Stay with us.
More than 50 million Americans suffer from a form of mental illness.
And Utah isn't immune, with nearly 1 in 3 people dealing with anxiety, depression, or another form of mental illness.
But there's hope. We can all take action to keep ourselves and our loved ones safe.
That's why KSL has teamed with the Huntsman Mental Health Foundation to bring you hope and help you thrive.
It's Healthy Mind Matters.
Find out more at healthymindmatters.com.
Are your investments in the right accounts? What's best, traditional or Roth? Are you receiving all available tax deductions? Are you paying as little in tax as you can? These are all questions you can't afford to get wrong. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth, and in many cases, it's not what you make, but it's what you keep that makes the real difference. Trajan Wealth and Trajan Tax work closely together exclusively. No more guessing about whether you should do a Roth conversion, or if maxing out your 401k is really the best option. Our nationally recognized fiduciary advisors and CPA team work in tandem to make sure your tax strategy works with your investment strategy. We'll even do your tax preparation. One team, one strategy. Isn't it time for a second opinion? Call Trajan today, 801-207-9900. That's 801-207-9900.
Trajan Wealth, an SEC registered investment advisor. Additional services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures and accreditation at TrajanWealth.com.
The movie show, just a few minutes away. We're broadcasting live from Layton's NPS store on 1150 North Main in Layton. It's so easy to get here if you're in Davis County. Just get off the road exit, go towards the lake for one traffic light, turn right, and you'll drive right in front of NPS. In fact, you don't even have to get out of the right lane. You'll just stay until it becomes an exit lane into the NPS parking lot. That's how easy it is to get here, Lauren.
It's the easiest to do.
And if you live in Davis County or if you live in Weber County and you haven't come to NPS, you got to come check it out. The store is gorgeous. You know, we've been telling Val, because this is her first time here, Lauren, about all the cool things. And she listed off some things she could see, but I don't think she looked far enough over there to see that there are designer handbags and there is high-end fashion stuff, as well as, you know, fashion for like the regular folks like you and I.
Yeah. Oh, I see all of those sunglasses.
And they've got all kinds of things, 30 to 70% off their retail price. And you'll know because you'll see the original retail tag on it, and you'll see the NPS price next to it. And then they have deals when you walk in the store, you can click, you can look at they have a video board at each one that has a QR code, and it'll tell you what are the things you can go looking for that are on sale at that particular NPS, because there are sales in Orem and Salt Lake and
that are
Layton that are
specific
different.
to the stores.
But let's talk about the ones that are good at all of them, Lauren. What do you got today?
So right now we have some half gallons of milk for 99 cents. We got packs of spreadable butter for $3.99. And then big thing next week, everybody's going on vacation, doing all their good stuff. You can get
spring break,
big bag of tortilla chips for 99 cents.
Here's the thing. If you're going on a road trip, never leave without stopping at NPS first, because you will get the best deal on all the snacks for the car, all the snacks for the kids on the trip, and not just the kids. Mom and dad eat the snacks too. Let's not kid ourselves. But we always stop at NPS to get snacks for our road trips and for school lunches. I mean, let's not forget about those kinds of things. Make your dollar stretch farther. That's what NPS is about. NPS stands for nicest place
to
save. Come be a treasure hunter. Find something cool at their 4 locations. You've got 1600 North Empire Road in Salt Lake City, here at 1150 North Main in Layton, and in Orem at 475 North State Street.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8157. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-8157. That's 800-575-8157.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
And expanded Inside Sources.
Before we get to the movie show, I want to talk about some fun facts for today. So, today is March 27th, and it is Scribble Day, like, just scribbling.
Which I do all day, including during this show, as we're thinking about the next segment,
right.
like drawing things and scribbling things.
So, it's also Representative Jake Fittipaldi's birthday, so happy birthday, Representative, if you're listening today. I wanted to note this. There's a couple of fun facts. So on this day in 1866, U.S. President Andrew Johnson vetoed a civil rights bill. That bill later became the 14th Amendment.
We'll show you, President.
We'll show you.
If you don't like this bill, we'll make it part of the Constitution.
Okay, and then on this day in 1868, Patty Hill was born. Now, you may have never heard of Patty Hill. She was an American educator. She composed songs for kids with her sister, Mildred Hill, and they would publish stories for kindergarten. And I will tell you, you may not know her name, but I think you know her song. She called this song Good Morning to All. It gained worldwide fame, and we know it, of course, as Happy Birthday.
But it was originally had different words.
It had different words because it was a song for kindergartners, but it became the song that we know as Happy Birthday to you.
And it's the song that is sung every day.
Every day, everywhere,
thousands
all
and
around
thousands of times.
Probably around the world,
Yeah.
actually. Okay, so we have Andy Farnsworth and Val Cameron, KSL movie show hosts. It's not your birthday, is it, either one of you?
No, but we sang it at my son's band concert last night. For some kid in the band, it was his birthday. The whole entire crowd, all the 7th grade band players, we sang that exact tune, which I won't do on the air because I don't want to pay a royalty or something.
Well, it's the composer's birthday. Actually, I think that's run out. But at this point, it doesn't matter. It was her birthday today, and but I want to talk about the big movie show of the week. Tell us about that.
Well, so I think the Hollywood studios punted after Project Hail Mary. They knew it was going to win the box office again this weekend, and they didn't want to put up a movie that they were afraid to lose money on. So I think that's why our big movie of the week is called They Will Kill You. Now, you had to have listened to the whole movie show. Was it last week?
I think it was last week.
Was Ready or Not, Here I Come?
Yes.
That was last week, huh?
Yeah, so we have 2 in a row.
It feels like these are very similar movies. A couple of girls have to survive against a bunch of devil-worshipping people who are trying to kill them. And in this case, it's not a bunch of rich people. It's just a bunch of people in one building. And a girl, Zazie Beetz, who, if you're a Marvel fan, she was Domino in the Deadpool movies. And what was the other thing she was in?
She's fantastic.
I like her a lot. This is back and forth on this movie. I liked the cast. Tom Felton, who plays Draco Malfoy in the Potter movies. You've got Patricia Arquette, and you've got Heather Graham, who I've always liked.
Yeah.
And what happens is they're all trying to kill Zazie Beetz, but she is ready for them. They're harder to kill, though, than you might think. I don't want to give away too much for the 8 people that are going to go see this, but
you said it was fun.
Okay, I thought it was more fun than last week's movie.
Less bloody?
Oh, no.
Oh,
no.
Oh,
No,
that's
it's
gross.
plenty bloody. In fact, some of these people get killed multiple times because of devil powers and whatnot.
So is this like a haunted high-rise or something?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to give away too much.
Okay.
Zazie Beetz takes a job at this building, despite the rumors she's heard that lots of people have disappeared at it over the years. But it turns out there's a whole bunch more, both on her side and on what's going on in the building side. And I mean, we got like the gallons of blood again, but they really lean into the goofiness. That was the only thing that made me like it better than how How I Met Your Here I Come, whatever it was
the one
last
you don't
week.
even want to remember. Well, I appreciate you taking one for the team this week so that I didn't have to see this movie.
Well, Andy, listening to you
blood.
talk about it, though, you're making it more and more intriguing the more I'm hearing you. All these reasons you don't want to see it.
I just think it might be confusing. I don't know.
Maybe that's what they're hoping for. They're hoping that the people who went last week to see Ready or Not are going to come and see this. Or, I mean, it has a. I don't. Maybe this is going too far back, but it has a Sam Raimi feel to it, where they don't ever take it too seriously. And when they do get into some of the violent stuff, there's like quick extra sound effects, and there's quick cuts, and there's these slow motion shots. At one point, she kicks a table, and then as it's flying through the air with the whole flat side up so that the person she kicked it at can't see her, she jumps after it with like a flaming axe.
So if you're into Sam Raimi films, you're going to like this film. If you're against like the heartfelt, big box office picture, this is the one for you.
All right. Well, I'm not going to see that, but I will go see Hail
Holly,
Mary.
I knew you were out on it, and I'll save you the dollars
you.
and time from
Yeah,
it.
thanks so much.
But I laughed at this one more than I laughed at the other, and that's why I gave it a slightly higher grade than last week's.
What's our question this week?
What movie confused you the most while watching it? One of the things I know sometimes it's hard for us to describe the movie without giving away plot points so that people who don't want to have any spoilers can go in clean. But sometimes I feel like that sort of ties our hand behind our back because we can't really describe to you maybe why you'll like it other than the most generic terms. But there are movies that we go to and we could spoil the whole thing for you and you're still going to have, what did I just watch?
We have those moments. We leave the theater and we're like, what did I just see?
Yeah, and we have to give reactions to the studio as soon as we walk out of the movie. And so sometimes that is the reaction is, I don't even know what I just watched. So that's what we want to know. What's the movie that confused you the most while you were watching it?
Okay, Val, I guarantee when I tell you mine, you're going to say, I watched that and I asked myself, why did I just watch that? Here we go.
I just don't like you no more.
Okay.
You do like me. I don't. You liked me yesterday. Oh, did I? Yeah. I thought you did.
The Banshees of Inisherin. So I
loved that movie.
I know. Of course you love it. But then as you're watching it, you're thinking, where am I going? Or what are we doing? It was a well-done movie. I have to say, my wife and I watched it. We thoroughly enjoyed it. Probably never watch it again because I left that movie thinking, what did I just watch? Seriously.
No, I agree with you. I had to watch it twice before I reviewed it because I needed a little bit more. So I agree with you.
But you'd call that confusing, wouldn't you?
I actually do have one.
Okay.
No, it's okay.
Answer Greg's question
Andy asked me.
quick.
Okay, here's Hollis.
Okay.
It's called Inception.
As soon as I heard the question, I had to say it's Inception because I watched the whole movie. I watched it again. I went to the internet and I'm like, what actually happened here? Because I couldn't figure it out. And the answer I got from my friends online were like, we don't know either.
A lot of people look up what happened at the end and what does that mean?
I know.
You know,
and it was
not
not satisfactory. I couldn't find a good answer to that.
I'm willing to bet that when people start texting in their responses, there will be multiple Christopher Nolan movies that make the list.
Yes.
What about you guys?
Well, for me, it was one called The Green Knight. And I literally walked out of the movie and told the theater rep, what in the heck was that? The irony is that when I went home and looked it up on the internet, I was like, oh, okay. I wish I'd have known that before.
Oh, wow.
Never
even heard of it.
It's the story of Sir Gawain, one of the knights of the Round Table, but they tell it in this really weird fashion. And I didn't know what I was supposed to understand, what I was supposed to take from it. And so I hated it.
It felt like one of those dreams you have that never really connects and you wake up and you're like, I don't remember everything. What just
Why
happened
did this thing
to me?
happen and then this? You're like living the dream while you're watching. These two things next to each other make zero sense.
Yeah. Mine was Cloud Atlas. I have tried to watch that movie time and time again, thinking that maybe I'm in a different place in my life. I'm a little bit older, maybe I'm a little bit wiser, and I have not been able to make it through because I do not understand what is going on.
I don't know that
even the
movie either.
Critics don't always understand what's happening.
Yeah.
Well, I can honestly say Green Knight, Cloud Atlas, and Inception are 3 movies that before this show I'd never even heard of. So
I'm surprised you didn't hear of
Inception,
Inception.
Greg.
Yeah.
I should.
Yeah, Inception for sure.
That confused Holly. That's my.
I mean, it may not be that hard to do, but I found it very confusing. So, anyway.
But so good at the same time.
Where are you guys, by the way?
We are at NPS in Layton, trying not to spend money during the commercial breaks on ourselves.
We failed.
Well, we're going to not spoil your movie, even though you talked about it a little bit, and we'll turn things over to the movie show after this. Thanks for joining us this afternoon.